It's that time again. Festive decorations are up and excitement is in the air. But this time of year can also be challenging for caregivers. Here today to tell us more about how caregivers can enjoy the holidays and avoid the attitude of Scrooge is Andre Hall, a certified geriatric care manager, and Marilyn Hereford, executive director of Emerald Coast Hospice. Andre and Marilyn, thank you so much for being here today. We're excited to have you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
To get started, if you'll share a little bit about yourselves.
Sure. I started out in healthcare working with behavioral health and families and patients who were dealing with those types of issues. And after doing that for a while, then transitioned and worked inpatient in a hospital and helped families who were coming in who were dealing with the same types of issues. But as I went through healthcare, I developed an interest in aging, an interest in working with seniors. So I ended up working with a senior care program in a hospital and then became a geriatric care manager. And so I've done a couple different things in healthcare. And more recently, I've worked with hospice because I think that that's such an important mission, that it makes such a difference in people's lives at a special time.
Definitely.
So I've done that for 4 or 5 years. And just do a lot of volunteering also and training and educating on Alzheimer's. That's a passion of mine.
That's
I think
wonderful.
I think that there's so much to do and so much work and support that those families and patients need whenever they have that going on.
All right. Well, I'm a registered nurse, and I've been one for many, many years.
I did not know that about you. I feel like I should have known that.
Oh, yes. I was actually the nurse for the Council on Aging for several years when they had a home care department. So, and I have always loved home health care, during my career. And most people who work in hospice feel like they were called to work in hospice. And that is why I am working in hospice now, because I am now the executive director of Emerald Coast Hospice.
Wonderful. And you kind of both answered my question, but I was going to ask, why do you enjoy working with seniors? I do feel like it takes a special person to do that.
It does. I feel like we often talk about when someone is born into the world, it's very exciting and new baby, and many times we get gifts and it's just a celebration. However, many times when a person gets into aging and dealing with end-of-life issues, it tends to take on a different tone. And that's unfortunate because that's such a special time in someone's life. It's just as important as being born. And so one of the reasons why I enjoy working with hospice and with aging is we come in at that time and make that time matter more and do things to enhance and support someone when they're at that stage of their life. And so for me, that's why I love working with seniors. The amazing stories they have.
Right.
You'll hear one sometimes, you'll think that can't possibly be true, and it is. And so they just have so much to give, and so I get so much benefit and just so much, it's a gift for me to be able to work with them at that time. So that's why I love doing it.
Well, the aging industry is truly blessed to have you both, because it does take somebody special to do what you do. The holidays are a joyous time, and we're here to talk about some caregiver tips, because I feel like they get extremely overwhelmed with the hustle and bustle and the different parties coming up. So can you tell us a little bit about why it is such a struggle for caregivers this time of year?
Sure. It's busy for all of us, but it's more challenging for caregivers because so many times it takes so much more for them to be able to participate. Things that people who are non-caregivers do, it's much more complex for someone who's needing to take care of someone else. And so they have many times added stressors. It takes a lot more planning. And then there is the pressure sometimes of feeling like they need to go to this and go to that and participate fully with everything. And so many times they may end up with too much on their plate. So then they're trying to take care, providing care for their loved one, but then trying to participate in all of the other things and the hectic times that are going on in the holidays. And so many times they just get overwhelmed and it's just too much on their plate. And so I think the added responsibilities that they have sometimes complicate things and make it a bit more difficult for them through the holiday season.
That's a good point. And a lot of caregivers, and if they're anything like me, they don't know how to ask for help. I don't know how to ask for help, but I'm not caregiving for anyone. Are there tips for asking for help? How do you assist them in that avenue?
The caregivers have to realize that first of all, it's okay to say no, that you don't have to agree to participate in everything. You just have to pick and choose and that asking for someone to help you is actually giving them a gift, because people love to help, and it is as if they are giving you a gift. So allow them that opportunity to do that.
That's great, because I know I have to sometimes ask some people that I work closely with at work, all right, it's okay to ask for help. I'm definitely someone that doesn't know how to say no, so I get that. There are a lot of things to remember during the holidays, so how do you go about prioritizing and making sure that everything is managed?
I suggest, and many times, perhaps someone doesn't do this at other times, but I believe when you have so much going on at one time, it's always a good idea to write things down. Simply because many times you may wonder, did I do that? Did I take that? And you just can't remember because there's so much going on. But if you try to write it down and make lists of the things that you're trying to accomplish, and then look and see what's on that list and then prioritize what's more important, a lot of times you end up not missing something that should have been done because you were out doing something else or trying to cover something else that wasn't as important. So I suggest writing things down, making a list, prioritizing it, what is more important for me to get done. And I'll let Marilyn speak to the medications and making sure that you stay on top of that, because a lot of times medication errors can happen whenever we're so busy and there's so many things going on and we just forget. And not to mention a caregiver is not only managing their medications, many times they're managing someone else's medications. So I suggest making lists. A lot of people like their devices, reminders on the phone.
Yes, those are lifesavers.
I think we've all gotten used to using those. But just find something that works for you, but it should be well thought out. Don't leave it to chance. Think about how I can better track this through this busy time to make sure I'm not overlooking something.
Well, I'm going to toss that question to you. How do you help manage medications and make sure that things are taken the right way? And
you need to stay organized. And that's why we have medication boxes that help people to keep up with the medications. It's a lot easier to keep up with it once a week when you fill a medication box rather than every single day, 4 times a day, or however many times a caregiver's taking their own medications, and also making sure that their care receiver is taking theirs as well. And there again, ask for help. If there's activities that you would like to go to, I assure you there are friends available that would love to come and relieve you of your caregiving duties.
What other useful tips do you have for caregivers? Is there anything else you want to add about this time of year?
I tell people sometimes it's really difficult for us to say no to things. We feel like we should always participate. And it may sound silly, but I tell people sometimes to sit down and practice saying no and saying it in a nice way, where you let the person know, I'd love to attend that, but I'm not going to be able to, or however you need to put it to make yourself feel better. I'm the type of person, too, I love to say yes to everything. Yes, sure, I can do that. And you look back at the calendar and the plate, and you're like, oh, look at that. So I suggest that. But then realizing what the reason is for the season. I think that the important thing is that we have each other, and sometimes we get caught up in things and trying to go here, trying to go there. And we really can get lost and miss a special time that we have with each other. And that's what it should really be about. So don't become so caught up until you forget the important things that we should be thinking about. Christmas is important. New Year's is important. But then you have the whole rest of the year that you've got to get through also, day by day.
Absolutely.
So don't get so focused on trying to meet and do everything until you end up not enjoying it, and then perhaps getting in a situation that now you have to deal with after the holidays because of trying to overextend yourself.
Right. And before we wrap up here, Emerald Coast Hospice, we love Emerald Coast Hospice and all that you do. Are there resources that people can use from Emerald Coast Hospice, and how do we get in contact with you all for more information?
You can call us at our main number, which is 850-438-2201. We do have resources available. We have social workers on staff. We have chaplains, spiritual care coordinators, and bereavement counselor as well. And we would be glad to assist with any caregiving needs. And the main thing about being a caregiver is you have to take care of yourself. Number one, take care of yourself. If for some reason you do not do that, then you're not going to be able to take care of your loved one.
This is great information.
A couple of things that some people may not realize. Many times during the holidays, it's tough to deal with loss. Some people may have had a loss the previous year. They may be going through loss. But bereavement services is something that we can provide to people who have not been in our service. They can talk with our bereavement specialist and help them get through those issues. So that's something that the public is not aware of. And also, one of the services that we offer, we talk about having some time for yourself and being able to do things. It's respite. Is a service that we offer. So those are just a couple things that, if you're receiving our services, we can help you with. But then with bereavement, even if you're not receiving our services, that's something that you can still call, and we can talk with you and point you in the right direction and help you out with that also.
Right, and we have
great.
bereavement support groups. So someone can call and get the information in that schedule.
Great. And if anybody wants more information, they can call your number, which should be on the screen. And if they want to talk to you all, because it seems like you both have a wealth of knowledge in this field, they can call you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Be glad
Great.
to.
Thank you both for being here. We've really enjoyed having you.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you for having us.
Well, this is my last show, and after almost 4 years at Council on Aging of West Florida, the feeling is extremely bittersweet. But I'm on to a new opportunity and very excited, and I know you'll be left in great hands. I'd like to thank each of you for watching. Until next time, enjoy life. You've earned it.